In 2019, Apple Corps and WingNut Films, in association with Walt Disney Studios, announced that they would be working on a new Beatles documentary, which would be based on over 50 hours of previously unreleased footage from the band's 1969 Get Back and Let It Be sessions. The documentary draws from material originally recorded by Michael Lindsay-Hogg for his 1970 documentary of the album, also titled Let It Be. The documentary series will be directed and produced by Peter Jackson, the Academy Award-winning director of the Lord of the Rings Trilogy. In this video, we will be talking about everything you need to know about the new Beatles movie, Get Back. Before we get into this video, please make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get reminded every time a new video is uploaded. Number 1. Peter Jackson is the director of the documentary. The movie will be directed by Peter Jackson, the Oscar-winning director of the Lord of the Rings Trilogy. Jackson, the Academy Award-winning director of the Lord of the Rings Trilogy and a huge Beatles fan, was given access to over 50 hours of previously unseen footage by Apple Corps, the Beatles company. His only instruction was to restore the film and tell the whole story. The Beatles have embraced Jackson's retelling ability. A preview of the film showcases moments of brotherly giddiness, like the band dancing and clowning in the studio. The Beatles' Get Back consists of 3 episodes with runtimes between 2 and 3 hours each, and a total runtime of nearly 8 hours. To adequately capture and retell the story using footage from decades ago, Jackson has also employed the use of state-of-the-art technology to balance the film's color palette. With Jackson as the director, there is no doubt that the movie will be both stimulating and aesthetically pleasing. Number 2. We learn more about why George quit the band. On Friday, January 10th, 1969, George Harrison left the Beatles in the middle of rising friction. He returned to the band days later on the condition that plans for the concert at the end of the project were dropped and sessions moved to the Apple offices at Savile Row. Fortunately, Michael Lindsay-Hogg would plant microphones around the studio to catch the band's conversations. He recorded John and Paul discussing Harrison's festering wound of discontent by bugging a plant pot in the canteen. Jackson's demixing process, which separates each instrument and voice, has helped excavate some of their intense chats. According to Jackson, the band used to turn their amps up loud, and they'd strum the guitar if they were having a conversation. They'd just be strumming, not playing anything, no tune, just noise. So all Michael's microphones were recording was this loud guitar, and you'd see the Beatles talking, having some private chat. But what we've been able to do with artificial intelligence-based technology is strip the guitars off and expose what's underneath. Some key parts of our movie feature private conversations that they disguised or covered up when he was recording them. It's a little bit naughty, but we have access to all these personal conversations, Jackson said. Number 3. The famous rooftop performance will be displayed in its entirety. On January 30th, 1969, the Beatles had a surprise performance on the roof of their Savile Row studio. Though snippets of the live performance have been well documented over the years, it has never been shown in its entirety. The Get Back film will include the entire 42-minute performance. Ringo recently shared his memory of the performance, saying, "We decided to play together as a live band, and we considered other venues, and then we thought, wait, let's just go up on the roof." Michael shot that stuff on the roof. It was really great, with a lot of cameras. Ringo, in an interview, said that he was thrilled to see the set in its entirety. Number 4. It is the ultimate observatory documentary. It's like a time machine that takes us back to 1969, and we get to sit in the studio watching these 4 friends make amazing music together, said Peter Jackson. The film used in Get Back was originally shot for Michael Lindsay-Hogg's 1970 documentary, Let It Be, which captured special moments in the studio while the band rehearsed and recorded the songs for what would be their final album. The clips, now revisited by Jackson in a new light, are the only materials that document the Beatles at work in the studio. The movie is the perfect fly-on-the-wall documentary. Number 5. It was made with the approval of the band. The Get Back documentary was made with the blessing of the living Beatles and the blessing of the spouses of the late members of the band. Disney Plus says the Beatles' Get Back is being made with the enthusiastic support of Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono Lennon, and Olivia Harrison. Both Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney have sung the film's praises, while John Lennon's widow, Yoko Ono Lennon, and George Harrison's widow, Olivia Harrison, have also shown their full support for the project. McCartney even made his appearance at the official premiere for the film in London and later tweeted his support for Jackson and the documentary. It is not out of the ordinary that projects like these are not supported by those it wishes to portray. Sometimes, when reconstructing moments and times as the movie did, certain members might feel it is unnecessary to show too much to maintain the image fans previously had of them. This was not the case with the Beatles, according to Jackson, who felt that the fact that the band supported the documentary showed a level of courage on their part. He also said, "I think history has overtaken their concern about their image, the normal pop star ego sort of thing. That's so far in the past now. Do they need to be concerned about the image of the Beatles? No, they don't. It's engraved in history and culture. I think they feel that they can now afford to let the world see a little bit more truthfulness than what they've ever seen before." Number 6. The Beatles' relationship is unveiled. Previous accounts document a band on the verge of a breakup in many ways. On the other hand, Get Back looks at the footage as a whole and paints a different picture of the band's time together. In an interview, Paul McCartney commented on the movie, "We're having fun together. You can see we respect each other, and we're making music together, and it's a joy to see it unfold." Meanwhile, in a statement, Ringo recalled, "There were hours and hours of us just laughing and playing music. There was a lot of joy, and I think Peter Jackson will show that. I think this version will be a lot more peaceful and loving like we were." Ringo added that the original film, Let It Be, only focused on the one down moment. "I was there in person. There was lots of fun, and I know there's lots of humor there." Jackson further reiterated in a press release, "The reality is very different from what people say." After a review of all the footage and audio that was shot by Michael Lindsay-Hogg before they broke up, "It's simply amazing historical treasure. Sure, there are moments of tension, but none of the hostility this project has been attributed with." After the movie's premiere, Paul was pleased about the movie and how it portrayed the Beatles. Paul was eager to see how the film would present the relationship between the members of the band. According to McCartney, the documentary did not show much of the band's conflict when they were recording the White Album. Paul further talked about how his expectations were all about the arguments, the rows, and the fights, but he never saw that. It was the opposite. It was amusing. He also states how reaffirming and heartwarming the documentary was because it shows the Fab Four having a ball and a great time, compared to some of the conflicts he had in mind. Number 7. Nothing interesting is left out. Jackson often said a fan made the documentary for the fans. At over 7 hours long, Disney Plus Get Back includes pretty much everything Jackson thought was worth seeing by the fans. He said, "I'd like to say that I didn't leave out anything that I felt was important, which is why the screen time has crept up to what it is. I felt astute, and this is the Beatles fan part of me kicking in. Anything not in the movie might go back in the vault for another 50 years. In the process of editing clips for the documentary, Jackson saw some terrific content from the clips and thought, God, people have to see this. This is great. They have to see this. One of the legendary Beatles things is the full-length Dig It on the Let It Be album. There's only 40-50 seconds of Dig It, which was like an improvised song that they did. We trimmed it to get it down to 4 minutes or something, because the original is 12 or 13 minutes long, so you get a lot more than you do on the Let It Be album. Who better to listen to opinions on the movie than the director of the movie himself? Conclusion. If you're a Beatles fan, all these should excite you to want to see the movie as soon as possible. It is without a doubt a fascinating movie that takes us into a world of the band's lifestyle and provides its viewership with a more in-depth understanding of the relationship between the band members and what they were really like. Get Back seems to contain all these multitudes. The joy, the strains, the conflicts, and the wonder of the Beatles simply playing music on the roof, and gives us not just live-action documentation of the band, but a picture of 4 friends under immense pressure struggling to find a way forward. There are no goodies in it, there are no baddies, Jackson says. There are no villains, there are no heroes, it's just a human story. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button and don't forget to subscribe.